Today I've got a quick update for you on that itinerary change on the Regal Princess. We're also going to talk about P&O Australia, Carnival Cruise Line, the movement that's going on there, and some things that I think we should be thinking about with Carnival Cruise Line, a lot to talk about. And finally, a really big discussion about loyalty, what loyalty means, what we hope that businesses think about loyalty, what guests, customers think about loyalty. We've got a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Tuesday and it is June 4th of 2024. Let's start at the very top with a quick update on that itinerary change that I told you about yesterday on the Regal Princess. So yesterday, if you saw my video, you know that the Regal Princess is not going to be able to make her port stop in Le Havre, France after all. Initially, they were just going to they would be able to pull into that port, no problem, but not be able to conduct tours down to Normandy because of the security, everything that's in place due to the June 6th 80th D-Day celebration. But then the strike that had made it so that the last time the Regal Princess was to have called at that port, she wasn't able to. That strike is also making them miss the port again this week. So we will take you along with us on the next sailing of the Regal Princess in our British Isles cruise, and we are also due to call at the port there in Le Havre. So I'll let you know whether or not we call there. I hope if we don't get to call there, I hope we do get to go to Zeebrugge, Belgium, which is where the Regal Princess is going to be calling instead this week. So it's still a wonderful place to visit. It's not the same. So I wanted to tell you a couple of things to keep in mind. If you are booked on one of those cruises this summer and you're not able to call there and you were really wanting to go to Normandy, visiting that region on a cruise ship and spending a day and getting to go on the tour that either you can get through a private tour conductor or through the cruise ship is absolutely fabulous. Don't miss it. You definitely want to do that. But for a real in-depth look at that region, it is even better to drive. And if you can't drive, do an organized bus tour that will take you more places. And if you can even do it so it'll last longer than one day, you will see so much more. In 2015, we did that with two of our children. They were grown up, and it was just really nice that we were able to, they're actually in college, but that's grown up. And so we ended up flying to Paris. We enjoyed Paris for a while. Then we rented a car and we ended up driving all through Normandy. It was one of the best trips we have ever had and one of the most special experiences that we have ever had while we're traveling. When you go on a bus tour, if you can't drive, or when you drive, you can go to all the different beaches and all the different locations that they have set aside. As you drive through that whole region, there is so much remembrance about World War II and everything that happened there and how much was given. It is really a special place to visit. It is indeed hallowed ground there and such a special thing. So keep that in mind. Just wanted to tell you that today. Now we are going to talk about what is going on with Carnival Cruise Line and them taking over P&O Australia. So if you are not familiar, there's P&O Australia, and then there is also P&O, which is more out of the United Kingdom. So P&O that is out of the UK, that's not going to change. That's going to keep going. But P&O Australia, those ships are now going to become part of the Carnival Cruise Line fleet. And I thought it was really interesting, a few of the things that were pointed out in the press release by Carnival Corporation about the jostling that they are doing with their assets. So first of all, I thought it was very interesting when you talk about this, that it says that they are going to take those five ships that belong to P&O Australia and make them part of Carnival Cruise Line. Now, in the last few years, they have also taken 3 Costa ships, so they've taken the Luminosa, the Firenze, and the Venezia, and made those part of Carnival Cruise Line as well. And the reason they are doing this is because out of the whole Carnival Corporation portfolio all over the world, Carnival Cruise Line is their highest yielding, their highest returning. And so it makes sense that they want to expand capacity on that cruise line. So I'm sure they looked at how everything was doing, everything in their portfolio and made the decision that those ships would bring a better return as part of Carnival Cruise Line. The other interesting thing is they do talk about how they will be able to manage their assets more efficiently in the South Pacific region, with P&O Australia becoming part of a Carnival Cruise Line. Now, I have thought a lot about this, and you think of the different cruise lines that Carnival Corporation holds in their portfolio, and I want to say, really, hats off to Christine Duffy. She is the president of Carnival Cruise Line, and she does a remarkable job. I've had the pleasure to be at meetings that she has spoken at before, and she does a really good job. She's a lovely person anyway, but she does a really good job managing Carnival Cruise Line. And so I've been thinking about this a lot, and I want to hear from you in the comments. What do you think it is that makes people want to continue to sail on Carnival Cruise Line once they have sailed on Carnival? And what do you think it is that makes people want to come on Carnival in the first place? Alrighty, they list Carnival Cruise Line as the most popular cruise line in the world. I have seen that referred to in several financial write-ups about cruises and cruise lines and the whole industry. So what is it that you think makes Carnival Cruise Line so special? I was talking to Gordon about this, and he said to me, he says, Carnival seems to have a little bit of magic. When you watch their marketing and everything to do with Carnival, they have always seemed to be the friendship, just a lot. I like that he used the word magic. And so let me know what you think. If you have been on a Carnival Cruise Line, let us know. In the comments, let us know if you've not been on a Carnival cruise yet, if you want to try Carnival. I'm going to say something here, and I want to hear what you think about it, but I really do think that for the most part, not for everyone, but I really do think that for a large segment of the population, there is a Carnival cruise and a Carnival ship that you're going to be happy on, that you will be able to go on a cruise and enjoy your experience. Now, I think with saying that it's really important that you very particularly choose the ship, that you choose the itinerary, and that includes the length of the cruise and the time of year, everything that goes in with that, your cruise destination, all of that, when you're choosing what you hope will be the Carnival cruise that will give you the experience that you're looking for. When I went on Carnival, I went on last year on the Celebration. I went last November. It was for a week, round trip out of Miami. It was on their newest ship, the Celebration, of course. But I had a nice time. Of course, I was on board for meetings, so I attended those, but I also got off in every port. I ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner there every day. My cabin was on this ship, and I tell you, I have not had a cabin steward more anxious to take good care of anything I wanted, and made sure that everything was ship-shape the whole time, greeted me by name cheerfully every time. It was a really good cruise, and I didn't expect to go and have a bad time. I didn't at all, but it was a better cruise than I expected, and at times I can be a little bit particular, which is good and which is bad. But so I want you to think about that. I really want you to think about that, especially as we hear Carnival is the highest returning of all of Carnival Corporation's holdings, and how many people try Carnival for the first time every year, and how many people keep coming back. Just putting that out there, so let me know what you think. Before we talk about loyalty here, I want to invite you to please subscribe to our channel. We talk about everything to do with traveling to cruise, going on cruises, and would love to have you as part of the conversation with us. If you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? I sure appreciate your support. Thank you so very much. Now, let's talk about loyalty for a minute, and this to me is a natural segue, because clearly there are so many people who are loyal to Carnival Cruise Line, clearly, or they wouldn't have the market position that they do. But today we're going to talk a little bit, I want to leap from that to talking for a minute. I've been thinking an awful lot about the announcement that Royal Caribbean Group made last week that they are going to extend the loyalty between their different brands. That's a really big deal for a few reasons. Partly, I think they are really trying hard to make it so that guests who sail with them stay with another cruise line within the family. So if you look at Royal Caribbean and you want to go on something a little bit more elevated theoretically, you're going to try your Celebrity. And if you're on Celebrity and you want to go on something even nicer, you're going to go on their Silver Seas. And so as you think about what they're trying to do with that loyalty, I've been thinking a lot about what Celebrity is doing with the loyalty on their ships and what Princess is doing with the loyalty on their ships. And I want to make a few comparisons. And I'm really looking forward to hearing from all of you in the comments. And as we start that off, I want you to think about what you do to get loyalty, how you show your loyalty to a company, and what you expect in return, right? And I think it is very important that it go both ways, because if it doesn't, one party or the other is going to not be very happy. It's like, that's what happened with Delta last year. Remember, Delta took some perks away from some of their most traveled guests, and it made everybody upset about it. And they still have not gotten the position back with a lot of their guests that they had before. A lot of people fly a lot of different airlines now than they originally did. They use different credit cards than they did. It has really impacted a lot of things to do with Delta there. So I want you to be thinking about that while we talk about it. When you think about Princess, because that's who we talk about a lot here, they're kind of equal in the Royal Caribbean group would be Celebrity. Now, to get to the elite level there on Princess, you either have to sail 150 days or you can go on 15 cruises. If you really manipulate your travel, you can get to elite pretty quick by doing shorter cruises. They don't offer quite as many as they used to, and especially I feel like a lot of them were out of Los Angeles, some of those shorter ones, but there are still some 5-day ones every now and again in the Caribbean. But you can really manipulate the cruises that you take to get to elite quicker. Gordon and I got to elite on the number of cruises just last year, and Gordon got to elite at the beginning of this year. And we just took cruises that we wanted to take. We were not even thinking of the number of days. We weren't thinking of the number of cruises. We just booked the cruises that we wanted to take when we could take them. So that's how we got to elite. But so think of that. That's what you have to do with Princess. So when you are elite, the main perks that you have are you get that mini bar set up and you get free laundry. You get 10% off in the gift shops and at the spa. But the other things the main things that you get for loyalty, you would get sooner with the other loyalty levels. And so when you think of being the Zenith level is the highest level on Celebrity, and mind you, it takes a lot more to achieve the Zenith level on Celebrity than it does to get to the elite level on Princess. And so they actually have nicer perks. If you want to be achieving that Zenith level on Celebrity, you have to have 3,000 points. On Celebrity, you can get your points based on the number of cruises that you take, and of course your number of days sailing, but you also get more points by booking a higher level of cabin. So if you book a suite every time, you're going to get to Zenith faster than if you book a balcony every time. Okay, for example, another thing, they have that new power up where you can watch videos or watch their marketing things and get a few more points here and there. They do have that, but when you are really going to be Zenith, you have to have sailed with Celebrity for a long time. You have to really make that commitment. And of course, it depends on how much you sail, how fast you're going to get there. Now, the difference, though, with the Zenith level on Celebrity is they have better perks, like I said. So you can access the Retreat Lounge and Michael's Club when you're on a Celebrity ship. You also, every time you earn 3,000 points, you get to have a complimentary 7-night Caribbean or Bermuda cruise with a veranda. You can't have anything higher than a veranda, but you also get 25% off of your specialty dining cover charge every time you eat. So for example, if you have a dinner that's $40, then it only costs you $30 every time. And you get to have their premium beverage package and their premium Wi-Fi. So that is included every time on every cruise you go on. Now, yes, that is a much nicer perk than you get with Elite on Princess, but you have to sail with Celebrity a whole lot more to get the Zenith than you do, like I said, with to get Elite on Princess. Another really big deal, and this is really new, is that access to the retreat area on the ship. If you are Zenith level, you can access that. Usually you access the retreat area by booking a cabin in the retreat area. But because you're Zenith, you can go ahead and access that whenever you want, which is pretty nice. The other thing that you get, which is to me a really big perk, is if you book in the retreat area, usually when you book in the retreat area, it includes the premium beverage package and the premium Wi-Fi. It's part of the cost. And so if you are Zenith and you book in that, then they are going to reduce the cost by the amount that they attribute the premium beverage packages and the premium Wi-Fi of that booking. So you will pay less for your cabin there in the retreat area than someone who is not Zenith would. So when you put all of that together, you think, this is my big question for you. When you put all of that together and you think of people being able to come in based on how much they have cruised on another cruise line and access what you get to access, and whether that is on Princess or whether that is on Celebrity, it's like someone gets to come in and experience what you have spent a lot of money and time building up with that particular cruise line. And I see why a Royal Caribbean group wants to do that, because they want people to be able to, they want to draw them to their other cruise lines. But at the same time, is that going to dilute really the meaning of what is offered to their guests who have striven so hard to achieve this loyalty status? Tell me what you think in the comments, would ya? I think it's a really interesting thing to talk about. It would be a good case study for someone in management school, truly, because it's a big deal. And what the cruise lines decide to offer people who have not earned loyalty the hard way, I think is a really big deal. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you all here again tomorrow. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye-bye.